Hello, this is Alex Bryan. I just gonna present this little presentation we came up with for our group project about the Never Forget gun safe. So the idea about our safe here is that it will remind the user about all the different safety precautions and all the different safety features that are available for a firearm when loading it into a safe. So we know that we can't force someone to do all these safety procedures, but we can give them a friendly reminder before they lock them up. And so I know from personal experience that some of these things we become routine with and we forget to do. So maybe just a friendly reminder will at least reduce the number of accidental deaths, obviously, especially in the home. And I think at the minimum, create a delay between getting a gun to fire, for example. So, I mean, it's much harder to, take a gun out of a safe, take the lock off of a safe, load it, cartridge it, all that. It takes a lot longer than just pulling one out of a safe or pulling them out from under a bed. So I think this will be a really good, a good little feature for a home. So this is the project that we came up with. So we talked about why gun violence is one of the most immediate and prevalent issues. So we talked about particularly children and teens and accidental deaths in the home. I think that's one that we wanted to try to, that was the specific issue we wanted to try to tackle was, these accidental deaths, guns that are, found in drawers, pulled out of safes or that kind of thing. So how can we at least reduce those, if not prevent those altogether? And so this is what we came up with. So our idea was a digital gun safe to create separate registered owners. So basically the only a registered owner into the system can actually access the gun. So that's kind of the first check. Also allows kind of on the go creation of new owners when the safe is closed. Our software will check all safety features available. And so we kind of made it dynamic in that we can pretty much add as many as we want. So I think all of us as a group, we definitely added some of our own safety features to the safe, which is kind of cool. Some that we thought about, and you could probably add them on the go and just continue to add them as well. So it could get a little bit more difficult to store your gun, but it would at least remind you of all those different precautions that are available. So it provides so very quickly, I'm just going to go over the code a little bit and what it does. So it provides a very easy menu. So ease of use was big for us. So while it does check on the user a lot and it provides a lot of safety checks, it is very simple to use. So very easy interface. That, like I said, that's more likely, I think users are more likely to use something that's very quick and easy. So very simple menu. It validates users, so it will not only create new users on the go so that we can add a registration number and a password for a new user. It will validate and check whether or not those users are already in the system when it's needed to be open. So it will only open for the user that closed it, which is pretty cool. So once you do, you put the gun in the safe, you come up with a reg number and a password. It will only open once you have created those things. It actually won't let you close it until you've created a password and registry number as well, or registered number. The big part of our program is the checking of the safety procedures, and this is where all of us as a group, we kind of started contributing our own things. So for example, right here it just shows that it's checking for the password. I'll show some of the contributions that I made in just a second, but so it'll check whether or not your password and your registry number matches the one that you created once you put the gun into the safe. And if it doesn't, then it won't unlock. And then we also added some of these, which I thought this is kind of my contribution, were the checks about the actual safety, safety, what do you call it? Safety options that are available for a firearm. So it will check whether or not the gun lock is fastened. It will check whether or not there's a round in the chamber. It'll check whether or not the safety is in the lock position. It'll check whether or not, I think that, that may be like the big three, but I mean, this is what I meant by the dynamic portion, is that we could actually add these over time if there do become, more safety practices that maybe we could check. We could remind people about taking out the cartridge. You'll make sure, is the cartridge separate from the firearm? Is the cartridge in here with the firearm? So there's all different kinds of questions we can ask the user. And I think this is the big highlight of our project, is that it adds a little reminder to the user, even though it can, this project can be, I don't want to say, hacked. But the project can be hacked in a way. In a sense, you could just lie about all this stuff, but it would definitely at least provide a reminder. So the impact our project may have the potential to greatly reduce accidental gun deaths. We talked about that by simply enforcing and checking gun safety practices. So like I said, I think it's difficult to force these checks on people. We did talk about incorporating some kind of biometrics into this system, and also incorporating like a physical scan of the firearm. So could we detect whether or not the safety is locked, or could we detect this stuff? And while I think that in an ideal world that could be a great idea, I think one of the better things might be what I put in my QEP report, was just that if we could create it to where when the safe scans these safety checks, that it would display to the user on the outside of the safe just how safe that firearm is, meaning that when you walked up to the safe, if you had 3 out of 5 safety features that had been met when you locked the safe, then it would give you kind of a rating as far as how safe that firearm really was. So it would remind you when you close the safe, and it would remind you when you walk up to the safe again and say, wow, this gun's not very safe right now, even though it's inside this safe. 3 out of the 4 other safety practices that I could have done are not done. And so everyone in your home, as well as you, would see that red display or warning letting you know that the gun is not being stored as safely as it could be. So anyway, I think that this, there's definitely potential for growth in this project. So I hope you enjoyed it, and just let me know what you think below. Thanks, guys.